Hey runners, happy Monday! It is October 10th, not just any Monday, but it's my birthday. That's right. I turned 53 today. So excited. I took the day off from work, made it a long weekend. My wife and I celebrated actually yesterday. We went to brunch here well, it's in Phoenix still. Part of it's Gilbert, which is the city, not too far from here, about 20-minute drive or so. Yeah, had a nice time and celebrated, and just wanted to update you guys on how everything is going with running and life in general. So, if you're new to the channel, my name is Pete. I'm a runner. Also do a little bit of coaching. I have a regular full-time job, so this is a passion of mine, running and talking about running. So welcome, and for all you regular subscribers, I don't have many. This is, like I said, a very just kind of, I talk about running, and I had to do so. So the few of you that are on here, thanks for subscribing and watching the video. But yeah, special day. I'm excited. I live here in Phoenix, Arizona, for those of you who are new. And I don't know where you guys are, whether you're here in the U.S. or internationally, but we are having pretty decent weather. I mean, maybe a little warmer than normal. We're actually going to be in the upper 90s in a couple of days. And our average is, I want to say, like upper 80s to like 90. But the mornings have been nice, upper 60s here. So it's nice. I'm going to bring you guys up to speed on what's been happening here recently, and let you know, what I'm training for and what that looks like here in the next month or two. So let's take a look. I'm looking at my calendar up here. For those of you who don't know, I've been kind of dealing a little bit with some type of a injury, but we've kind of honed in a little bit on the diagnosis. So a couple weeks ago, well, let's go back, probably about 4 weeks ago, I started experiencing a little bit of discomfort in my lower ab and in my groin, and found out through an ultrasound and meeting with a urologist last week that it might be a hernia, but it's fairly small from his observations. So we did a CAT scan. I was fortunate enough to be able to get in on Friday, so this is just a couple days ago. I won't have the results here until sometime this week, and my doctor will have those for a follow-up. So yeah, I've been experiencing a little bit of discomfort, and for us men, down in that area, I guess. I've been 4 weeks ago, it was more pronounced, especially after some of my longer runs or harder effort. But in the last couple of weeks, it hasn't really bothered me. So it's been kind of a mystery on what's going on. So I kind of go back to what I did last week as far as running. And for those of you who are familiar with my channel, I am currently training for a couple things. The nearest is a 5K coming up on the 23rd. It's on a Sunday, so just under 2 weeks. And that's the 5K out in Chandler, which is about 15-20 miles east of us a little bit. So that's kind of a training run about 4 weeks or so before Gilbert Half Marathon, which is November 19th. So originally we were going to go to Philadelphia, but as some of you know, my wife has had a little bit of an injury with her back. She's not running. She hasn't been running since the end of July. So we thought we'd stay closer to home. So I switched over to this half marathon, a small half marathon, completely flat, and it will work out. But then I started experiencing, some discomfort and pain, so I wasn't sure. But I'll get more answers on that here in the next couple weeks. But I've been able to train. My mileage has been considerably lower. Just looking at my calendar, I ran not even 20 miles last week. I ran 18.8 and I ran 4 days. By now, that was week 6. By now, I should be closer to, upper 30s, approaching that 40-mile mark. I probably wasn't going to get more than like 50 miles in a week, topping out. But, with what's been going on, it's been lower mileage. So last week I did an easy run, 3 miles on Wednesday, pretty good. And then the following day I did, it looks like 3.3 miles, and that one felt good as well. I took Friday off. And then Saturday, that was kind of the test for me. My goal was to run 10 miles and then put in a little bit of a speed workout kind of early on. So we went out to, in Chandler, there's this place we like to run. It's a nice neighborhood. It's called Jacaranda Parkway, at least the street is. And you can do a loop of 6 miles and then the inner loop of 4 miles. So my intention was to do the outside loop, which is 6 miles, and then finish with the 4 mile, making it 10 miles. So I did that. I went out. I like the Endorphin Pros as far as the shoes are concerned. It's carbon plated. I really use that for races and some training runs. I don't put a lot of miles on it. I kind of reserve it for races mainly, and then sometimes some long runs or some speed workout, but very little of that. So I went out at 1.5 miles easy, and then after that I went out at 3 miles. I was looking to target around an 8:20-ish pace. I just kind of wanted to see how I felt. In those shoes, the Endorphin Pros by Saucony, it doesn't take much for you to move quicker. Now, 9:45 pace for my warm-up doesn't sound blistering at all, but it felt like I was creeping. I was doing everything I could to go slower, and I still couldn't go 10 or even slower than that. It's just because of the way that the shoe is designed, with that kind of rocker design. It's light. That shoe is designed to go faster. It's not designed for easy runs, right? But I wanted to wear it and then just go straight into the run. And then I was going to change out the shoes after 6 miles. So I did 1.5 miles as a warm-up, and then after that I went straight to 3 miles. Slower than 5K pace, probably around a 10K pace or so. And then I wanted to see how I would feel. Like, was I feeling any discomfort or pain? And honestly, I didn't. I felt really good and strong. I believe I did an 8:10, an 8:06, and an 8:03. I was out of breath. I was running, for me, pretty good clip. So I was averaging 8:06 for that 3 mile effort. Fantastic. Got to the 6.2 mark, basically, for the loop. And then I changed into, I wear the New Balance, forgetting it now, New Balance Fuel Cell Rebel version 2. That's a mouthful. It's a lightweight shoe, kind of for the faster days, but it's got a lot of good cushion. So I needed that because, my right heel, I take a pounding. I know I do land a little bit on the heel. I was trying to focus landing a little bit more on the midfoot, which I think I did a better job of. Switched into those shoes and finished out with 4 miles. Actually, a little bit more than 4 miles because I ended up doing 10.5. And I felt pretty good. Later in the day, my left hip was a little sore and I had to ice it. That's been kind of bothering me a little bit. That's a little separate issue. But other than that, like where I think I might have a hernia, didn't bother me. So it was great. I felt pretty damn good. And for me, a 10-mile run for me is a long run, and my body didn't feel banged up as much. So that was a win. Then on Sunday, I did a recovery run of 2 miles, just nice and easy, 21:39. So, almost 11-minute pace, and it felt good. So today, Monday, I had planned a while ago since I was turning 53, of doing something representative of that number. I thought, okay, 0.53 is too short. 5.3 miles, I thought about doing, just an easy pace. Originally, I was going to do 5.3 in 53 minutes and try to time it perfectly, right? I think it came out it would be exactly a 10-minute pace or something like that. But I decided to do a 5.3K, a little longer than your traditional 5K race. So it would be like a 3.3 miles. It was a little challenge in setting things up because I've got this Garmin watch here. I wear the 735 XT. I had to change the settings to reflect kilometers, making sure that the pace was in kilometers, not miles per hour. But I did that, and I ran the calculations in my head, and this morning was beautiful. Like I said, 68, maybe 67 degrees. Went out, did a 1.1 mile warm-up because I wanted to end up with 5.3 miles total, but running a 5.3K, warm-up, 5.3K, and then a cool down. After the warm-up, I went straight into the Ks, and so my watch was set up to basically hit every split at every K. So I knew I was going to get, 5 alerts popping up. That, let me tell you, is different. I don't know where you're watching this from, if you are predominantly in kilometers or if you do miles per hour. But here in the U.S., most of us, are trading under miles per hour. I've never set my watch to kilometers per hour, so I had to do some calculations to see at what pace, that would translate to for kilometers to miles per hour. It felt longer than actually leaving it at miles per hour, because in miles per hour you have 3 alerts coming, and in kilometers you have 5 alerts. Now it's all the same in terms of distance, you're covering the same distance, but I think it's just that familiarity in miles per hour. But I did it. My goal was to try to stay around a 5:15, maybe 5:17 per kilometer. And surprisingly, I felt pretty good the first couple, but I went out quick. I went out at a 5-minute per kilometer. Then the second kilometer, 4:57, 5:04. So after the first 3 kilometers, I was averaging about a 5-minute per kilometer, which equates to like 8:04-ish or so. After that, then I started to slip a little bit because I was starting to get a little tired. I did a 5:10 and then another 5:10. Then I finished out with 0.3 to make it 5.3 kilometers, and I did that in 26:54, which was equivalent to 8:09 minutes per mile. I'm happy with that, to be honest with you. Faster than I anticipated, because Saturday I had a long run and then I had that speed, early on. So I still had the Saturday tired fatigueness in my legs, and I could feel it in all honesty, especially on the last 2 kilometers. But, I was gutting it out at the end, and I'm glad that I did, and I picked it up a little bit because I was starting to tail off a little bit, so I had to, rein it in. So, fantastic. I've been able to do basically 2 5K races, if you will, or hard effort, at about an 8:07, 8:08 pace. What that's telling me is, doing this by myself, I'm able to do that. I've got a 5K race in less than 2 weeks, and I feel that I can run at least an 8-minute per mile, which would get me under 25 minutes. But if all goes well, just getting under 8 minutes a mile. We'll see. Um, I don't really change much when I'm doing a 5K race, whether it's with people or a virtual. Going through the whole pandemic, I did a couple of these virtual races, if you will, and I did that either by myself or with my wife. I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but I'm able to stay pretty focused and dialed in, whether I've got a group of people or it's myself. I still believe I am going a little quicker with people in the race. I mean, it's natural, right? You've got others to help push you, and you kind of stick with. But for me, I don't tail off that much. So for me to be running about an 8:07 pace right now by myself for a 5K, that's encouraging. I should at least run the same as I did over the weekend and today, right? I'm hoping that it translates into a faster pace. If I can get under 8 minutes, that would be fantastic. You know, my first goal is to get under 25. If it's a fantastic day, we're talking like low 24s, right? Because in April, May, I was around 7:30 pace or so when we did the race in Carlsbad, and that was in May. And that was a fantastic race, basically even splits for all the miles. So we'll find out. Like I said, I've got my results coming back soon. I'll be following up with my doctor to see, what's going on. There's a chance I might need surgery if it's a hernia, for example. But in having conversations with a doctor, it doesn't seem like if it is a hernia that it's very large. I think I'll be able to get through these next couple of races, get through my half marathon, and kind of see how I'm feeling. I don't want surgery, obviously, but if it's something that I do need, then obviously I would want to get that done, recover, and then be able to come back and start running and training and racing again. So that's kind of where we're at. But it's a beautiful day. I'm going to go to the gym here in a little bit and grab some lunch. Got some freebie lunches for the birthday, so I'm going to take advantage of that and just enjoy the day with my wife. And thanks for watching, guys. Have a great Monday and a great week, and hope to chat with you guys again here at the end of the week or weekend. So stay healthy out there. Take care.